stiff arms of crap out of Drake Kirkpatrick right there.
Going down again. That's Q. Red Williams.
Fighting through contact, fighting through offensive line, being double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. This is actual film, this is actual football talk. It's a football show, we're supposed to talk football, not storylines. And you are listening to the 34th edition of Blewett's Blitz, a pretty short show for you guys today. I got 15 plays of Frank Gore. Like I said, I want to keep that relatively short because I know people aren't overly interested in Frank Gore. So if I keep it to 30, 40 minutes, a ton of people won't click off and get interested or get disinterested. I'll take care of the housekeeping very, very quickly. This is the last player review of the 2020 offseason until the Jets inevitably sign another receiver or another outside linebacker, or they trade for Ngakwe or Clowney, or they sign Logan Ryan, and then I'll be in a mad dash to get a review out in the last 2 weeks before the season. So that's going to happen because in my mind it's, okay, you got Gore out, you're going to do another show in a couple of days, and it's going to be a nice little break before the season starts, but that's just not how it works. So JorB31 on Twitter. That's where I post a lot of the film, a lot of my opinions, things like that. If you're interested, I wouldn't take anything to heart that I say during the Jets games because that's typically when I'm with my friends, have a few brews and are watching the game. So I usually don't mean 95% of the things I say. I'll always regret the one tweet where the Jets followed me, and I told the Jets they suck so bad to unfollow me. They unfollowed me and they never followed me back. So missed out on that opportunity, but it is what it is. If you listen or if you watch on the YouTube, obviously subscribe and like, and if you can, like I said, if you have an Apple phone or whatever, just go to the podcast app, throw another 5-star rating if you can, review, vice versa. If you do watch on the podcast, go subscribe on YouTube or like it on YouTube. Again, it always helps me out. If you want to email me, I got 2 emails. I'm planning on responding. Sometimes I see them like, okay, I got to respond to this later because it's it takes me a little while. It's Joe, Joe, period, Blewett, BLEWETT at Jets, JETS, Factor.com. Like I said, I did see both emails that I got. One from somebody looking to, who's actually a coach and wants to figure out more things about the run game. I'm going to respond back to him. JetX Shop, a ton of shirts. I wear them every single show. Ton of shirts there. Mims, Davis, Suniga, Connor McGovern, Braden Mann, Ashton Davis, like whoever you want. Other than that, I don't know when the show's going to be released. I'm recording it on the 26th right now. So if anything has happened from the 26th to when you hear this, I'm not going to comment on it because I'm recording this on the 26th. Like I said, last show before the YouTube live. Again, it'll mean a lot to me. YouTube live, 6 p.m. It's going to be me and Kyle Smith. We're going to be talking about the 53-man roster. If you have a YouTube account, great. Click on the link. It's going to be like, I guess you're going to be up and see that we're going live at this time. You click on it and you're going to be able to watch us live. You can comment in the comments below, and I'm going to be able to see it live time and react to your comments, discuss with you guys. You guys can discuss with each other. And I was thinking, like I said, if we do get a good reaction from that, I would like to do that maybe weekly, probably not weekly, but maybe every other week, maybe once a month. Like I said, I haven't done one of those shows in a while. So I think at the minimum I could do it once a month if I get a response that's good enough. So, it wouldn't be like I said every single week because I still got to do focus. I still have to focus on the film, and that's what I want to focus on, but I want to interact more. So like I said, if that's a good turnout, I'll definitely consider doing it much, much more. So it would mean a lot to both me and the people who want to see that happen if you could show your support. September 2nd, 6 p.m., Jets X Factor on YouTube. Obviously, you're finding this, through YouTube or the Vimeo. But if you are a Vimeo, if you are a subscriber of Jets X Factor, all that, so you get all the extra content, just go to the YouTube. It's all going to be free for the YouTube, that show. And if you do want to call in, like I said, you can just comment below. If you do want to call in, 818-794-7004. Again, September 2nd, 6 p.m. Call-in is 818-794-7004. Last thing, the pick'ems. Again, I've talked about that. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but every week it's me, Marcus. And we're gonna pick games. I'm gonna pick 5-6 games a week that I think are really gonna be really good games. We're not gonna do spreads. We're just gonna pick the winners. Towards the end of the season, I might look into doing spreads for extra points. But if you guys beat me and Marcus in terms of you have more wins than us, more points than us, I'm gonna send 2 free T-shirts and a free year subscription to the JetX store, and or not to the just a subscription, I guess. I guess what it is. So 2 free T-shirts and a free year subscription to the site. Again, I'm not sending you to a front row, a game, a front row seats or anything like that. It's not that type of website yet. We will get there. But 2 free T-shirts, and I thought it'd be pretty fun to interact with people. So I have a couple of people already. Obviously, it's me, Marcus. I'm gonna have guy Vinny, a guy Tom, a guy. Another guy emailed me. I forgot to write his name down. I'm going to find it in 2 seconds now. We have a guy who commented on YouTube, and his name is Ray Ferraro. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Ferraro. And I got another guy, Rob, who is at Jets Fan UK. So a couple people already. So let's keep it going. I don't want to get to too many people. I would like to limit it to 10. So we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We already have 6 people. So another 4 would be, I think, the max for that, because I don't want to spend too long on it. But like I said, we'll pick them. What's going to basically happen is I'm going to put shows out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the latest. Even if you can't watch the whole show because you're at work, you're busy, whatever, just fast forward to the end of the show, see the pick'ems. And then for those people who are going to be doing that with me, so far, like I said, the outsiders is Tom, Vinny, Ray, Rob. Just email me, like I said, Joe.Blewett, BLEWETT at Jets with an S, xfactor.com. You could comment on the YouTube below, or you can tweet me at JoeRB31. I think it'd be a pretty fun thing to do. Let's get into the Frank Gore stuff. Again, I want to keep that short because some people said, I'm 6 minutes into the video and no Lawrence Cager film. Well, guess what? Fast forward through all the housekeeping, and if you want to miss out on all that film, that's on you. I couldn't care any less. So have fun. I hope you unsubscribed. 37 years old, 5'9", 216. I watched 2019 weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 12. I watched some of the games as well, but I didn't record them. Where a lot of the games that I watched mid-season, week 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, a lot of those plays, like I said, were what I expected, where he was put in short yardage situations, whether it be 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1 goal line, running the clock out when the Bills were up. So even if they're up 10 points, the other team is stacking the box, even if it might be a first down run. They're stacking the box because they know the Bills are going to run the ball and try to run out the clock. So that's what I was anticipated. So I don't give a shit what his stats are: 3 yards, 2 yards, 2.5 yards, 3.5 yards per carry, whatever he averaged. I didn't buy it. And the reason I didn't buy it was because I messaged one of the most knowledgeable Bills guys I know, Eric Turner. He's a friend of mine. He's helped me along the way. We discussed plenty of things in private chats and things like that. And he basically told me, look, he was solid towards the beginning of the year, and then Singletary made his way into the lineup, and he was used in short yardage situations. So that is what it is. So going into strengths and weaknesses, again, these lists are slightly condensed from what they usually are because I usually watch more plays. So like Cagers, Wilsons, Gores, Hogan's are a little bit condensed, but for Gore, I had good pass protection, plenty of veteran experience, capital on plenty, strong runner, runs low, short and stride while looking for cuts, holes, falls forward, churns for extra yardage, good hands, decent route runner, line up and slot at times, throws good chips before releases, patient runner, safe runner, which can be both a negative and a positive. Will press to get hats defenders to open holes for himself. Contact balance, drives through contact. Weaknesses: long speed, burst, lateral explosion, stop start ability. Safe runner, and I put yes, both a strength and a weakness. Misses some cutback lanes that are there. Not overly dynamic and not going to make guys miss in the open field. So getting into his film, like I said, 15 plays, pretty short. I know you guys don't want me to do a 80 play review on Frank Gore, so I did not do that to you. And like I said, I'm hoping your attention span's at least long enough for 15 plays. Not trying to shit on anybody. I get it. I don't know if I would be the most interested in Frank Gore either, but I do want to show that he's not just a terrible running back. Like he's going to have a role. Now, how big do we want that role to be? Not very big. Honestly, if the Jets were in a playoff, if they were racing for the playoffs and Frank Gore is running better than P. Ryan, yeah, sure. I would want Frank Gore to be running the ball more, but I want him more as a third string back. Let Ryan develop, because listen, next year the Jets, looking at their running back position, it may only be P Ryan here next year, depending on Le'Veon Bell and his contract, which I think 90% of people expect him to be cut after this year, because you can get rid of all of his like 12, $13 million, 11, 12, 13, whatever it's going to be next year. You can cut him, be clean of that. Gore's on a 1-year contract. And P Ryan's going to be here for 4 years. Now, obviously, pending him getting cut or traded. But you'd like to think he's going to be here for 4 years and hopefully even beyond that. And P Ryan, not to get into too much of him, he was a pick that a lot of people didn't like. I liked the pick. I said that during the show. I did. I think he's a solid all-around runner. I don't think he's a plotter by any means, but people think he's a plotter. And the good thing about it was that, you saw in practice today, which, like I said, is the 26th, during the scrimmage, that he broke like a 70-yard run, was outrunning guys. He's not a plodding running back. He's not. He's just not overly explosive, which is okay. There's plenty of running backs in the league who are not overly explosive, who are really good running backs. Obviously look at the top, like guys like Kamara and Barkley, Zeke are all top notch. Who Frank Gore, P. Ryan doesn't have those capabilities, but just look at a guy on his team who's had a really good career. Frank Gore is never an overly dynamic, great athlete. He's just a really smart, good runner who ran low and trucked some guys over, So let's look at some of his film. He's on the edge right here. So one of the benefits he did have was he was in the slot. He did run routes from the slot. He can do things from the slot. So he could fill multiple roles. I like him more in zone, but he can run gap as well. He's good at pass protection. He could come out here and do what he's going to do right here to the defensive end, I believe, chip and release. So a lot of running backs, you're going to see them in this position. They're more worried about their route and getting into the route with speed instead of their first assignment, which is chipping, which the chip is a really important part. Obviously, on certain situations, if he's condensed a little bit and then Gore condenses, you don't have to worry about it as much, because the lineman is there basically to take them. So you just want the defensive end to bend inside to him, so you don't have to put too much pressure into him. Obviously, you want some to help the offensive lineman, but the wider they are, the more you want to get a hand on, get in their way. So good job by Gore here, just taking that drop step, dropping his shoulder into him, getting his hands onto him, and he freaking chips the linebacker into the ground. He literally, and there's a couple plays of this I saw. So really disciplined in terms of chipping, and he's low and powerful. So he completely took that guy out of the play, and now you have the combo block or the double team the entire time on this defensive end, D tackle, instead of the right tackle having coming off against that, because Gore completely wiped him out and then ran into his route and then caught the ball and turned upfield. He slips here, but still really nice play from Gore right there. Gore cut back there. I did criticize this a little bit. There are some times where I want to see his eyes more active for cutbacks, where he kind of he will like just run to the play side a little bit. So they run this pin and pull right here, the Bills, and obviously he's following his blockers. It's supposed to be to the outside. What I would like Gore to do would be to cut back here, and you could tell that the defense is flowing hard to the play side. I would like to see him plant right here and shoot up the field. If his eyes were a little bit more active up the field right here, he would see that these guys are pretty much even. This linebacker is flowing hard over the top. These guys are all blocked to the backside. So if he were to plant right here and cut up field, this guy's gonna be pursuing too hard over the top, and then he has to worry about this guy who's currently blocked, who's engaged. So you'd have to work past him, whether it be him getting past this block or him still being blocked. And if he is getting past the block, he's more at a standstill. So I would like to see a cutback right around here, plant his foot in the ground and, jump cut inside. Now, the linebacker, he is in a relatively okay position, but I think he would be able to get inside right here if he were to jump cut. Instead, he kind of just runs into the designed gap that's not really open, because this guy gets cut. They don't really create a lot of movement on the front side right here. So he just drop his shoulder and gets some yards. But there's some scenarios right here where you'd see like an elite running back, like right here, plant, jump cut, burst, read this guy, plan either way, and get up the field. So he doesn't have that type of capability. So I would like to see him cut back right there. Truck on the goal line. Okay. So the Bills offensive line, all wedge blocks. The fullback comes here to kick out any edge threat, the email, and Gore gets the handoff to the weak side and is just reading his play side gaps. So as he takes the ball, he obviously sees the entire Giants offensive line crashing down hard with the Bills hats all outside leverage, outside leverage, outside leverage, outside leverage. So what he's going to do is obviously not go inside of any of these gaps because they all have inside leverage and it's all really tight and condensed. So he's going to just aim his track to the outside. He does that. The fullback does a good job getting vertical and then outside on this guy. So now Gore is met in the A, B, C, the C gap, or the D gap, actually, the edge. This is now the D gap. He's met a D gap by number 57. He sees that, lowers his shoulder, puts number 57 onto his ass, and gets into the end zone. And I'll show it from this angle. I definitely like this truck right here. Obviously, he is reading. He changes his track a little bit right there. I think hop steps. He's just reading the line. He doesn't want to take one step, two steps, three steps, and then try to cut because now he's pressed too close to the line. So nice little footwork right there, reading the play. It's little, but that matters right there. Sees number 57 in the hole. And you see how he drops his shoulder and takes this big step and explodes into him. He's rolling some of the power through his hips. He's lunging into him. He's not just taking on that contact. He's delivering the contact. Again, you want to get lower and deliver the shot. So it's just a little with his body. He takes that big step, lowers his shoulder, pops him. Regains his balance, continues to churn through his legs, turns forward for a touchdown. I'll show it in full speed both plays. I always like to see running backs trucking over linebackers on the goal line for touchdowns. I like to see it regardless, but especially for a touchdown on the goal line, it's definitely nice. So good job by Gore. Ball secure. Okay. They run one back power here. Yeah, okay. So this was a long one to explain, like in text. In the article, I did like 4 plays for the last couple of reviews. I didn't do the whole article. I did like 4 or 5 plays, kind of previewing what the review on YouTube or Vimeo, depending if you're a subscriber or not a subscriber. If you are a subscriber, you're going to be watching most likely on Vimeo because you get the whole video. It doesn't cut out halfway through. But here they run power. Number 57, 47 right here crashes. He penetrates quickly. So you have the combo blocker here that's going to be working to the backside linebacker, but he penetrates hard. So the combo, the high leg of the combo, the inside guy is forced to come off of him really quickly. Off the combo really quickly. He does come off of it, but the linebacker is able to I'm sure not on purpose, but he hits the pulling guard, which disrupts the pulling guard's speed and his track. So the pulling guard is bumped back a little bit into the backfield. This is not what you want on a pulling play where he's supposed to be kicking this guy out, because now he's kind of in line with Gore, not in front of Gore, leading the way for him. So Gore does a good job. He stays patient right here. You're gonna see him just shuffling with the offensive lineman. And obviously you can see his eyes too are on 57 because this is where he knows he's supposed to go. His eyes are on 57. He shuffles and gets outside. He doesn't want to press too hard inside right now because then 57 is going to press or is going to shoot inside and he's going to tackle him. So good job continuing to press outside, getting lateral. You can see Gore push his offensive lineman with his left hand, with his left or right hand. I can't really tell which one it is. It looks like his right arm with the ball. He shoves the offensive lineman in the way of 57. So he shoves the ball in the way of 57. He sees the backside pursuit right here from the defensive lineman. He lowers his shoulder, 2 hands on the ball. There's a lot of little important stuff with running backs. And right here, like maybe a guy who hasn't seen a lot wouldn't really notice this guy, would keep running with the ball, tucked in one arm, and now it's punched out. But good job by Gore with the peripheral vision, noticing the backside pursuit from the lineman, tucking the ball with 2 arms. And then while he's doing this also, he sees that number 21, which is Peppers, I believe, coming at like a flat angle over the top. So he's going to try to get inside of him, not to the outside of him, because Peppers' momentum's taking him outside, so he's not going to want to go outside of him. So it's a combination of this guy inside, him with his momentum going to the outside. So Gore cuts it more inside, tucks the ball, churns through the contact, and you can see too when he comes into this contact, he raises his knee. Do you see what his left leg right here? Because Peppers is going to try to take out his legs, and you want to be light on your feet, because if one of your feet get taken out, you can quickly transition to the other feet. When you're heavy on your feet, a lot of your weight's into your feet, so a lot of your balance is in relation to having that foot planted firmly underneath your frame. But when you're running through holes, you want to see guys with high knees to get rid of some of the traffic around their feet, and to keep their balance. So he lowers his shoulder while throwing up that high knee, which avoids Collins, breaks out of that tackle, that two tackles right there. Sees obviously this guy, lowers his shoulder. Again, two hands on the ball, really important. Runs through that arm tackle for the most part, and then gets brought down by a combination of three guys. So again, does he have nothing? No. He's a role-playing type running back. He's not a starter anymore, but, this is not a guy who people are, oh, my God, this is a bust of a signing. I'd rather have Josh Adams running this. That is not true. Which Josh Adams is like the shoe-in to make it in as a fourth running back right now. I haven't heard anything about him, but the only other guy I thought could compete with him, Kenneth Dixon, who had some productive games with the Ravens a couple of years ago. I thought he can compete, but I believed he was already cut. So, all right. So they run this tight zone split right here. So Gore's reading. I don't know whether the Bills are taught to run. Some people who run zone like to read linebackers first. Some like to read defensive linemen, two linebackers, or some like to read just the linebackers and like the peripheral, like the hats of the first guys, kind of in like a secondary type read. So tight zone. I'm assuming he does not take this hole right here because this linebacker is over the top, and he thinks this linebacker is just going to shoot this gap because there's nobody to block him. So you have combo. This guy is locked out on this guy. So there's no offensive lineman to really get in the way of this guy through this gap, through the A gap, the B gap. So that's why I think he doesn't cut into that hole, because this linebacker should cover that and fill that if necessary. So I like that he stays patient here and waits for something to open. So he runs into kind of nothing, but he knows this guy's going to be blocked. He knows that these guys are in a combo. I'm sure you see that this guy's blocked, but his hips are angled outside. You can see his helmet's right here. He's reading this area right here. He sees that Dawkins has leverage on him outside, but is shoving him, and his hips are open to the inside. So runs right through that gap that the linebacker lineman, again, his hips were not in position to cover that or to be there for that tackle. Again, it happens really quickly, but knows this will be filled, runs into basically the middle of nowhere, evaluates, sees this guy flowing, sees obviously Dawkins with the cross shove, so he's not going to be picking him up fully. Stays patient. Again, you could see him just reading this. He's not running full speed right here. Sees the gap, shoulders down, and then this guy comes over he tries to shed to make the tackle, and you're going to see Gore stiff arm him. Left arm goes out right there. Left arm goes out. Stiff arm. Continues up the field. Continues to turn for more yardage. Playing full speed again. Nice patience. See, he's just like, he's like two steps. This 1, 2, and then he explodes. You're going to see better in full speed. But it's nice patience. 1, 2, sees it. And like, it makes sense when you look at when I'm explaining, okay, like the linebackers over the top, and now, the offensive line are falling to the right, and so is the defense, and now I'm going to shoot that gap. But like that all seems easy when I'm doing it in slow motion. But then when you look at it like this is how you appreciate that stuff. Like that opens, split second before he takes it. So that's the anticipation of a hole right there. That Gore has from playing for years and years and years and running the ball thousands of times. Hands. Okay, so play action. By the way, there were some picks I was thinking about putting up of that in the games I watched that Allen had that were just inexcusable. Him just throwing off of his back foot into triple coverage that were intercepted. I'm not at the point yet where I think he's a long-term quarterback really at all. I think if he was in Jet situation, any situation that's worse than his own, he would not be nearly as good as he is. And I'm not saying it's him that's good. It's the running game. It's the weapons they put around him. It's the offensive line. It's the defense. It's the coaching. It's not Allen. I'm really not a big fan of Allen. So, and people, oh, well, they made it to the playoffs. Okay, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. So don't give me that. The quarterback is the most important thing, but you can overcome a bad quarterback and still make it to the postseason, a la Mark Sanchez. So, and he did do better in some of those playoff games. But play action, Gore leaks out into the flat. Allen puts the ball way too high and outside. It's really not that far. It's more far outside. He just needs to put it on him here. This is just general accuracy. Just put it on him. Gore, left hand out, tips up to himself, brings the ball in, and runs upfield for a first down. So just a little example of the old man's hands right there. He has them. He can catch the ball relatively well. Again, he's not going to be super explosive out of routes and stuff like that. So you're not going to put him on like too many screens or wheel routes or anything like that. I expect him to outrun linebackers. But as a check down on like a snag or flat or bench or whatever, I think it's fine. Sit down underneath, whatever it may be, option route. I think you do that. Trap run. Okay, so they're running trap to this 3-tech. These guys are going to fake like they're going to block the 3-tech. He's going to penetrate. You want to do this against penetrating defense. The 70s going to release to the backside linebacker, I think. He releases to the backside linebacker. Gore. Drop step. Takes the ball. Obviously, he wants to avoid this collision, so he doesn't want to run straight into the ass of this guy, because if you're expecting this guy to stand him up a little bit, you're going to run to the ass of this guy. Now your momentum's slowed, and you're not going to be able to work upfield. So good job. Again, it's little stuff, just changing his angle a little bit right there. Because, again, if he's straight on, he might trip over his legs. He might hit his ass, whatever it may be. So change his angle a little bit out to the inside. He wants to shoot. He wants to get through this gap, obviously. Now, the center who blocks back on the 1-tech right here he got stood up a little bit, so he's not able to just cleanly just work through this, just lower his pads and just burst upfield. He has to avoid the traffic, the legs of his or the garbage, the legs of his offensive lineman. So he has to jump over them. He gets bumped a little bit, but he jumps over them. Works upfield. He sees that this safety is coming down from high and at a hard angle. This way, if you can follow my mouse, he's coming at too high of an angle. I would say to Gore. As you can see right here, he's coming at a high angle on this path. So Gore is going to press upfield, drops his weight into this plant foot, and he turns his left foot out. Do you see how he turns his left foot out? Again, it's a lot of the stuff with the hips, with the feet. Your hips can't work over a toe that's pointed. So if your toe is pointed forwards, you're not gonna be able to turn your hips over that. It just doesn't work. If you turn your foot outwards, your hips are able to turn more. It's just physics. So good job planting, turning this foot out, because he's gonna plant and it's gonna allow his hips to work over it and explode over the foot, not try to explode with his foot. Like, again, over that foot, it just the hips don't work over the toes. They have to work in conjunction with the toes. So drops, plants, left foot open, cuts inside of that. This guy's far to the outside, so he's not going to keep going to the outside. He's just going to lower his helmet and get what he can. Tucks the ball with 2 arms in traffic. Again, important to have the awareness of where you're at. Like, there's some guys, again, who wouldn't have seen this guy working over the top, would have kept running, and now this ball is loose and it's a fumble. But Gore recognizes that. 2 hands in the ball, churns forward he breaks 1 tackle, 1.5 tackles, and churns forward. Again, there's some guys who've been tackled right here, but he gets another 2-3 yards, maybe 4 yards. So good job. Sets up blocks. Okay, so they run counter OF. Obviously, this whole side blocking pretty much down. You're gonna have the guard kicking out whatever edge threat, and then you have the fullback leading, where power. It's the fullback kicking out and the guard leading. I mean, the guard leading and the fullback kicking out. I think is that what I said the first time? I'm not sure, but he sets up his blocks. He stays patient. Again, just patience with his feet. Just lets everything develop. He wants to keep these guys inside, allowing him to burst to the outside. Really, he doesn't want to press this too quickly and then have everybody react to it. He kind of wants these guys, like this backside linebacker right here, to just stay where he's at which he does. Do you see? Just watch this, or it's not a linebacker, it's a safety. I think 23 is Chung, right? So him not pressing this immediately, one, doesn't get himself involved in this traffic right here. Two, it keeps Chung on the backside right here and more patient, so he can explode through the play side gap. So you can see as he plants and cuts through the play side, now Chung is not in position to scrape over the top because Gore set up his blocks. He set up the run. So nice patience. Again, these plays are more long developing. You have to be patient and then explode through it. So sees it developing, explodes to the play side, plants, upfield. He gets tackled by McCourty. Gore, cover, head down, find hole. Okay, another counter OF. So punch step, takes the handoff, sees the penetration right here in the vacated gap. You have number 99 pushing hard upfield. He sees this as he's taking a hand. As he's coming to the mesh point, he sees this. So he's not going to continue on the track he's on right here. He's going to flatten it a little bit to avoid that pressure. It's just, like I said, the running backs does very little things. Just slightly, just see how he turns his hip away from this guy. High knee. You see his knee come high to avoid just any potential attempted leg tackles. Changes his angle, avoids that. He sees his lead blocker getting squeezed, taking on the inside shoulder of the linebacker to kick him out a little bit. Follows that, lowers his shoulder as he sees number 94 working over the top, breaks that tackle, continues to run forward, sees more contact coming from Bayard coming off of a block. Again, lowers his shoulder, two hands in the ball. Another guy comes in the tackle, continues to stay low and drive his feet, and gets another 2-3 yards. Again, there are some guys who be tackled here. There's some guys who will be tackled here. So he has a little bit of that juice left that I previewed in the article. The article is like, does he have the juice left or whatever? Didn't come out yet, actually, at the time I'm recording this. But again, I want to see Le'Veon Bell more. I want to see P. Ryan more. But it's just funny that all these people who shit on the signing are now seeing him in camp getting good runs and things like that. Like, oh my God, look, he's a good running back. Like, and I'm not saying he's good. I just think he's decent, and that's better what some people think he is. So, aware, cut, drive. Okay, so this looks like it's supposed to be one back power. No, it's supposed to be power. It looks like to me. I'm not sure exactly whether it be a blown assignment or whatever the blocking scheme was, if they weren't expecting this linebacker to shoot right here, because he absolutely needs to be picked up. I would change his play at this point when this guy is, depending if he creeped up really early or late into the snap, then it's hard because you have to block down on these two guys. Or no, let me see actually what 73 does. Interesting little wrinkle there, but okay. So it looks like one back power. They had the quick penetration from both right here. So Gore would want to continue. You can see he's reading that. So it's, oh shit, I can't take this hand off. And you see his eyes, just seeing his peripheral vision. He sees that this guy's uncovered from the backside, crashing down. And I think he actually sees it early, now that I'm thinking about it. So he's reading this, and I think he sees this and the reason I think that is because he shortens his stride right here. Do you see before he takes the ball, he's expecting the cut. So it's not like he sees it now. He already saw that he's going to cut. He already knows that he's going to cut back right, probably right about here. Because you see how he almost like skip steps right there, hops into the handoff while he shortens his stride. Again, plants, turns the foot in the direction he wants to cut in outwards so his hips can work over it and he can just explode over that foot, not have to work through it. So shortens his stride, hops into the handoff, drops his weight, opens his foot, bursts through the contact, maintains his balance, runs upfield, and takes 1, 2, 3 tacklers and continues to drive them. Again, there's guys who would have went down right here at the 38, 37-yard line, but he takes it to the 32, 33 because he's low, he runs condensed, and he's powerful. At his age, power doesn't really. Look at James Harrison at like 40 years old; he's still moving trucks and whatever. moving trucks wasn't the best example, to be honest, because I think pushing a car and pushing a truck is pretty easy. Listen, I'm going to bet that half the listeners that I have right now could go out and whatever car you own, you drive. If you put it in neutral on a flat street, you could push it. If you can't, you need to hit the gym a little bit. So for the guys who just like push a G-Wagon, I'm not impressed. I think a lot of people can do that. Now, if that's on a slight grade, like a hill, if it's on a slight incline, awesome. Flat ground, it's meant to move. It has wheels. That's the purpose of a wheel. It's supposed to move. Now you said to get it moving, that initial burst to the, again, whatever. And if you don't believe me, whatever. I know Tom listens to the show, who's Tom, who tailgates me, Vinny, whoever. You want any car in the parking lot of MetLife, I'm up for the challenge. Maybe not the bus that we drive. I don't think I can get that moving. But any of the cars or trucks, I'm pretty confident I could do it. I've done it before. I've had to push cars. Like I said, my job, people are stalled out in the street all the time. You have to push their car. Sometimes even up slight grades, but that's not a G-Wagon. It's a little Toyota Corolla. So it's a little bit different. But still, it's those videos are stupid. I think they're really stupid. Okay. So like I said, he hops into this, he sees the pressure, opens his foot, bursts outside through the contact, and drags a couple of the guys forward for a couple extra yards. I love the ball security and just the continuation to drive and get more yards there. 5 plays left. Again, pretty short. Another I formation, 22 personnel. More like pin and pull. They like these sweeps, these pin and pulls, the power, the counter. They do a lot of this stuff. More zone, more of this stuff type of zone. More of these types of run than zone plays. Takes the handoff. This is another situation where I want to see cutbacks. Yeah, so there's some times where when he's not really sure what to do, he kind of just runs into the play side and will just lower his helmet and just try to get a couple of extra yards. But there's scenarios where I want to see him plant his foot in the ground right here and cut to the backside, whether it be like cut up, like, but he's not the type of running back who has that really lateral explosion to be able to stop really quickly, explode, and plant and go. So it's like a little bit of the physical limitation, whether it be him knowing that he can't do that or just his eyes. But again, right here, there's a ton of guys over here. Even if he just plants, cuts back, burst upfield, cuts back. Like there's some things I think he could do right here. And I'd like to see how it develops after he cuts back, but I'd like to see him go for a little bit more right here. So he's a little bit too safe. It just puts his helmet down and gets a few yards instead of what could have been some more yards, at least I believe. So that's, again, could be some of the reads that he's making and wanting to be safe, or it could just be he knows his physical limitations that he can't do it in terms of that lateral explosion, which he doesn't have. Pass block. Okay, and this is really nothing like overly crazy. I just like the quick diagnosing. So you have the Dolphins who run a cross dog blitz with the linebackers cross dogging. One goes in, one comes over the top. It's almost like a stunt from the linebackers. And I like that he presses up and like he's like scanning for his assignment. Gets his hand on his center. Knows the center's going to pick that up. He doesn't overcommit. Again, there's some guys who would jump inside right here and be right on the center's ass. But he trusts the center, gets his hand on, waits for number 56, drops his pads, explodes right up through his midsection, pops him, and then breaks out on a potential just a little sit route right here. So good pass block, good quick diagnosing of the cross dog. Cut back, high knees, knees through hole. Okay, got 3 plays left. So I think something was screwed up here by Josh Allen. Whether it be Gore or Allen, there are some runs where you sprint out like this, but this looks like it was almost not there. Like this is too hard. There's some plays where like I said, Allen will take more of like a flat angle coming and then sprint into his guy, more like a draw looking type play. This is not that. So I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but it looks like it's supposed to be like an inside tight zone. Gore to bend it inside a little bit to get the handoff. It just looks screwed up. That could be done by design, but that's really odd. Sees this hole, obviously the this guy's flowing to the place or to these gaps. This guy is leverage outside, so he's not going to cut through this gap. He's gonna cut it back. Cuts it back again. He sees this guy coming over the top, so he's probably going to go through this hole right here. Sees this guy now, cuts it back a little bit again. Sees this guy again. It's a lot of peripheral vision and just awareness of who's around you. Sees him, and you're going to see him like kind of tuck the ball away from him. You see how it just like shifts his body right here? That little bit could lead to either a tackle or a broken tackle, because if his legs are here and his more momentum's coming on this side of his body, then it's easier for this guy to hit him and knock him down because he's attacking more of his balance, where if he shifts his weight to the other side of his body and this side of his body is now lighter, it allows him to kind of absorb that contact while maintaining balance a little bit. So good job just noticing that and kind of jumping through that tackle and having high knees. Again, you see how his knees are, is he regular running? Just knees are lower. And now when he's expecting contact, whether it be through guy diving play side, backside, pursuit, whatever, you're going to see his left knee come up. He should try to avoid that leg tackle. Drives forward, dives for extra yardage. All right, 2 more plays. Balance, churn. Okay, what this play was, I don't know what this run play was. They screwed up something though. And it's hard. It's especially hard to see what the run play was when you see when it's screwed up. Like, it could be one back power where he was supposed to take any interior threat, and then he was supposed to take the outermost threat. I don't know exactly what the design was here. But Gore obviously, while working to the mesh point, sees that again, the Eagles are crashing hard on this. This linebacker's crashing down hard and is already in the backfield by the time he takes the ball. Literally, he's already in the backfield. Gets the ball, sees him again, drops his hips, plants, hip, opens his hips with his left foot turning outwards. Even a little Olay right here. Works sideways to avoid that. Stays balanced. Sees this guy working over the top. Cuts inside of him. Now, like, it all happens so damn quick. This is impressive, even though it doesn't go for much yardage. But again, mesh point, sees this guy, sidesteps him, protects the ball, maintains his balance, sees this guy working over the top, cuts outside of him. Now sees this guy right here, turns the ball away from him, 2 arms on it, churns, and gets another couple yards. So he avoids like 3 guys right there, like, really quickly. 1, 2, and then drives forward. 91 is Cox. So good job tucking the ball right there, because Cox is a strong guy, and if the ball is loose, and a lot of guys, when they're running through holes like that and sidestepping and avoiding guys and changing angles, the ball is popping, like all crazy. And then that's when you see guys get the ball punched out. But Gore is always nice, tight, condensed, 2 arms on the ball, or even if it is 1 arm, it's very rarely, with his arm flapping. So good job. Last play. Let's see. All right, so they run more pin and pull on the front side. You say pin and pull on the front side. Gore takes the outside handoff. A lot of congestion right here. Bends it to the outside. Follows his blocks. Sees number 20 with that inside leverage. Cuts outside of him. Inside of 25. And a little stiff arm, and gets another nice little gain right here. This is like let's count it, about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I think that's longer. That's a longer run than Le'Veon Bell had last year. Le'Veon Bell is better, and obviously Gore's working with a better offensive line. So hopefully, with an upgraded line, Le'Veon Bell seems some longer runs like this. But like I said, he's not a guy with nothing left. That's what I was trying to show in this review. He has something to offer the team, just hopefully in more of a reserved role, a smaller role. But that's it. Again, last show before the September 2nd show. I'll quickly just say that again. September 2nd, 6 p.m. call in, which is YouTube Live. Just click on Jets X Factor and you'll see it like premiering, whatever it's going to be. You're going to see it. I'm sure you know how to work on a computer. 6 p.m. call in is 818-794-7004. If you see, again, if you don't want to call in, you can just chat. I'm going to answer to the chats. We're going to do our 53-man roster prediction while talking to you guys, while taking calls. The Pick'ems, me, Tom, Vinny, Marcus, Ray, and Rob. I'll take about 4 more people, maybe 5, 6 more people, but that's about it. Again, email Joe, common spelling of Joe, period, Blewett, BLEWETT at jetsxfactor.com. Let me know if you're interested in that. Again, if you beat us, 2 free t-shirts and a year subscription, and maybe to the highest person outside of me or Marcus, I'll give you a free t-shirt. Even if you don't beat us, just for being the top contender, I'll give you a free t-shirt. So you get a little bit of a consolation prize, even if you don't come in first. It's like the second and third place prizes in a fantasy league. So make sure you do that. Again, with the YouTube live show, the more support I get for that, the more I consider to do that. At least, I'm going to say at least once a month, I want to do that type of show. Maybe a little bit more, but at least once a month if we get the right amount of support. So I appreciate it for listening. Drop those reviews. Make sure you show up for the YouTube live. Email me if you want to participate in the pick'ems or comment, whatever. I got the one guy from comments. I got the one guy from email. I got the other from text. So I will see you guys later on September 2nd.